Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Legendary Leaders. I am your host, Katrina Jameson. I'm the founder of Legend Leaders, where we arm female business leaders with the strategies they need to master the one rule and live life on their terms, a legend life. Thanks for coming back. I'm excited to continue to talk to you about people leadership. We've already mastered and understood and gained the knowledge about why people leadership is so important in mastering the one rule of adding value, of becoming that irreplaceable asset in the marketplace, right? We've gone through, we've looked in the mirror and we've said, hey, I'm doing great. Let me just add some more tools. Or we've said, not so great. I could probably grow a little bit in this area. Let me figure out where and how I need to grow, right? And then we've talked about the 4 primary needs of humans. There's 6 of them total. We've talked about the 4 primary ones. Your homework last week was to spend some time going through, observing, looking at other people, listening to words that maybe you use, that other people use, and just really trying to get more understanding of those 4 primary needs. Today, we're going to dive into the last 2 needs. We've separated these out by design, okay? The last 2 needs that we're going to talk about are the needs of fulfillment. When you achieve and fulfill these 2 needs, and meet these needs, then you are personally fulfilled. You have happiness, joy, all of the things that life really is about, okay? That's what life's about. So let me teach you about these other 2 needs, and then I'm going to pull it all together quickly. All right, let's dive into this. So, the last 2 needs that we're going to talk about, the needs of fulfillment, the first one that I'm going to talk about, not in any particular order. Remember, we individually create the order of priority on how we must meet these needs, right? Now, let me take 1 second before I go into these last 2 needs to define further what that means. Of all the 6 needs, I may have variety or uncertainty as my number 1 need. And so everything that I want to do is all through the lens of variety and uncertainty. It's adventure, it's fun, it's surprises, it's by the seat of my pants, it's driving around cross country in my van, never knowing where I'm going to end up and what's going to happen, right? That's the lens that I'm going to look through to live my life and to meet first and foremost, okay? That's really what that means. And so I can put those in order of priority. Everyone does. And then I move forward and I tackle my career and my relationships and everything that I do by meeting those needs in the order. Okay? Perfect. So let's dive into the last 2. Growth. Growth is the next human need. What does that mean? Well, it means that we want to grow. We want to expand our knowledge. We want to expand our information that we have in our brains, expand how we live, what we understand about the world, what we understand about people, right? We want to grow. Now, growth could be small, meaning I just want to have regular, amazing relationships with my spouse, and I want my marriage to grow because we're growing together and our understanding of each other and what a good marriage looks like, right? We define that. It could also mean that I really want to grow in my area of the career that I'm in. Maybe I'm in an industry, a specialty, and I really want to better understand my industry. So I'm constantly reading and listening and growing there. It could also be personal growth, right? I'm listening to this podcast, right? You're listening to me or you're watching the video and you're thinking, I'm growing myself so I can be a better leader to me, to my family, in the business, all of the above, right? It's growth. The last human need, the 6th one that I want to touch on, the last one in the list, right, is contribution. I'm giving to other people. I'm serving other people, not because I get something back, but because I simply want to give, okay? It's those things like dropping money in a bucket, at Christmas time, and nobody knows that it was you, it was cash, and it's not like you're going to get a receipt and file it on your tax return. You gave to give. Right? Someone needed help. You were at the grocery store and there was someone who really needed help putting their cart back in the cart return, and you go and you help and you put that cart up for them. It doesn't have to be monetary. It doesn't mean that you have to go volunteer 20 hours a week, although that is contribution. It's the little things about how you help people. And you do it just to serve, just to give, right? And if you think about that, growth, to grow yourself emotionally, to grow yourself intellectually, and to go help people just because, those really are the actions that help us and cause us as human beings to be fulfilled. And it's amazing. It's hard to get to those if we haven't met the first 4 first. Especially, okay, this is really important, especially if those first 4 are prioritized higher than these last 2. All right, so then how would you observe? How would you observe and understand if someone is trying to meet their need for growth? It's pretty simple. They're asking people to read articles. They're asking you what they should be reading. They're asking about who they should talk to or connect with. How can they learn more? Right? It's the first thing. Pretty easy. Anyone who's seeking an opportunity to better understand and learn, it's growth. Now, I'm going to throw a little caveat at you. There are a lot of people who will come and say, I really want to learn this because I want to grow. And that's partially true. But listen to their words. Okay, help me understand. Why do you want to grow in this area? It's not really a part of our business. Help me understand. And they say, I'm just really interested in it. I really like where the company's going with that. And I'm excited about it. I want to learn more. Probably is growth. If they come to you and say, I think that this is the future of the company. I think that, our division is going to be dissolved, and I believe that it's a must, that I must learn this. It's growth, but it's also the need for certainty because they can see the writing on the wall. They know that that part of the business is probably going to be gone. They believe that that's the case. And they want to be certain that they're not going to be gone. They want to anchor in their security in the company. And so it's twofold. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's no judgment there. There's no judgment ever in whatever order that you or anyone else ranks their needs. Okay? Because when we judge, we can't love them. We can't connect with them, and we can't serve them. So there's no judgment. But it's your understanding. Okay? It's your understanding. Because you want to provide them with both. You need to help them meet both needs, certainty and growth, not just growth. And that is where your awareness and your ability to lead people and understand these needs really comes in. It's this high emotional intelligence of being able to read people and not only read them, but understand why they're saying what they're saying and where it's coming from. That's what you're getting here. You can probably already read people really well. But to understand why they have that emotion in that moment, or where the comment's coming from, or the desire, or the need, it's one of the 6 human needs. Now, what does contribution look like? Well, they could probably, maybe they're the person who's always asking about volunteering, or they're talking about, hey, let's really understand what the customer needs here. Right? They're putting the customer first always, and they're really driving that mentality. What do they want? Let's serve them. That's what we're here to do. Right? They're bringing you back to the customer. They're bringing you back to the intention because they really just want to give. Right? They're organizing events for the team to come together and get to know each other better. They're doing different things to simply serve and give because that's who they are. They'll answer the email. They're the first to step up and help. Now, I'm going to caveat this. This is really important, just like I did with the other one. The person who's always volunteering, the person who always says, I'll bring that, or I'll host that event, or I'll do that, it could be for contribution. It also could be for other needs, right? It could be because they want to be significant. They want to get the praise. They need that. And there's nothing wrong with it. Maybe they believe that by being the first one to volunteer and help brings them certainty. It gives them a little security. Oh, if I get to do this, maybe my job won't be at risk, right? It could also be the fact that they want to have a little variety or uncertainty themselves, and they want to give that to you because they want to surprise the team. They want to do something fun. It could also be the last one, right, that we talked about, the connection and love. They want to bring people together. They want to connect, and so they want to create events and ways to bring other people together to connect. Okay? Understand that while they may have a heart of contribution, they're also doing it to meet other needs. There's no judgment in that. It is simply your awareness. Now, why do you want to be aware? Why does it matter? I've already said it. I'm going to say it again. Because you need to understand where the ask is coming from. When they ask you for something, when they display a behavior, when they say something, you must understand where that's coming from inside of that person. What's motivating them to say that or do that? And then help them meet those needs. That's your job. That's your role. That's your role as their mentor. That's your role in helping them have a successful career. That's your role in helping them add value to the organization and to the customer. But many times what happens is we get confused. We don't understand what the motivating factor is, and we use our lens to motivate, and it doesn't work. And so next week what we're going to do is we're going to tackle the piece of how to understand what that looks like. What does that look like? Where do I go? I want you to understand how to identify the needs and what that looks like in them, and then maybe we'll spend a little time talking about what the needs look like in you. Okay? All right. So your homework this week, the action, the challenge I'm going to leave you with is I want you to continue to go and observe. Now that you understand these last two human needs and you've learned a little bit more, your challenge is to go and observe. Go watch your team. Go watch your family. Go watch people. Just go watch and listen to conversations. Even think about it while you're watching TV. What did they say and what need could that be meeting? And did you really believe that that was their intent when they said it? Was there an underlying motivator in what they said? Just pick up on it without judgment. Okay, no judgment. But start to read and to understand and apply this and grow this muscle of understanding the human needs. Go have an amazing week. As always, go and be legendary.